As we said, we're gonna find the relation between polar and rectangular coordinates. If I make y-axis and x-axis, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. I want to ask a question now. What I grabbed here is rectangular coordinate or polar coordinate? That polar or rectangular? Rectangular. Why? Because I wrote here x and y. This x-axis, this y-axis. It's rectangular coordinates. Okay. If I write here 0 degree and pi over 2, it will be polar coordinates. Okay. This is the difference between rectangular and polar coordinates. Rectangular coordinates has x and y-axis, but polar coordinates has 0, that we call it before polar axis, and that pi over 2 is our y-axis. If I put any point here, that point in rectangular coordinate x and y, in polar coordinate will be r and theta. Is right? Just a second. Here, as we said, we have that point. That point is in rectangular coordinate x and y. In polar coordinate r and theta. Okay. Imagine that that point comes from that x and y. Is right? That triangle. This right triangle, x and y, x and y. Okay. If I want to find, this is our angle theta. If I ask you what is cosine theta, that hypotenuse here is our radius. If we have a circle, this will be our radius, this x coordinate, this y coordinate. What is cosine theta? Cosine theta, adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So x divide r means x equals r cosine theta. Okay, this is our x coordinate. Right. If I ask you what is sine theta from that triangle, sine theta comes from opposite divide hypotenuse. So y divide r. Y divide r. So what will be y? If you solve that, multiply that r here by sine theta, it will be r sine theta. This is y. What else? What is the value of r? If I ask you what is r, we can say r, mister, comes from x squared plus y squared from Pythagorean theorem. So we can say r equals root x squared plus y squared. Is right? Till now we have three relations. X, memorize it. X equals r cosine theta. Y equals r sine theta. R equals x squared plus y squared. This is the relation between polar coordinates and rectangular coordinates. Okay? If you like to find x, say x equals r cosine theta. If you like to find y, r sine theta. If you like to find r, equals root x power 2 plus y power 2. Now come to solve an example here. Look at number 1. Look at here at number 1. We're gonna solve number 1. He said find the rectangular coordinates of each point. Now we are going to change that point from polar coordinates. It's number 1. Number 1 here. We are on number 1. Number 1. Our 0.6 and 120 degrees. This is polar coordinate. Okay, I will find rectangular coordinate. How will I find rectangular coordinate? Rectangular coordinate comes from x and y. This is our rectangular coordinate. I will find x, then I will find y. Just what's x as we said? X we said before, r cosine theta. So I will say x, this is our r, and now x will be r cosine theta. So I will say xr cosine theta means 6 cosine 120 degrees. What will be our y? R sine theta. R sine theta means 6 sine 120 degrees. When you use your calculator, I am holding a calculator now. Look. Write 6 cosine 120 degrees. It will be -3. Right. Again, write 6 sine 120 degrees. It will be 3 root 3. Okay, so our coordinate is -3 and 3 root 3. This is our rectangular coordinate. This is the answer of number 1. Till now, do you have a question? So try to memorize with me. X r cosine theta. Y r sine theta. Number 3 also is 4 and pi over 6. Pi over 6 means 180 divided 6 means 30 degrees. So what's our x? X r cosine theta means 4 cosine 30. What's our y? R sine theta means 4 sine 30. With the calculator, you have to use a calculator. 4 cosine 30. I am calculating. Please go and get your calculator because I will tell you something on it. Next, 4 sine 30. It's 2. So our rectangular coordinate is 2 root 3 and 2. Okay, this is our number 3. How to convert from polar coordinate to rectangular coordinate. Okay, we're gonna make the opposite now. We're gonna change from rectangular coordinate to polar coordinate. But before finding that, you have to see x-axis and y-axis also, as I did before. This is our right triangle. This x, this y, this r, that is theta. This is our point x and y in coordinate in rectangular coordinate, r and theta in polar coordinate. What do I want to tell you here? We want to find polar coordinate. In polar coordinate, I need r, I need theta. What is r? As I said before, r comes from Pythagorean theorem here. Root x squared plus y squared. This is our r. What about our theta? Concentrate, please. Theta here, I will use the tangent. So I will say tan theta equals opposite divide adjacent. Y divide x. Do I need theta or tan theta? No, mister, we need theta, not tan theta, because the polar coordinate is r and theta. So what will be theta? Look at here. If you have tan theta equals y over x, and you like to find theta only, we can write theta inverse tan y divide x. These two relations, we're gonna use them to write the rectangular coordinate in polar coordinate. Just a second.